a while since I did a video in my favourites series, and I've been reading some books with some lovely friendships in them recently, and it reminded me that I actually love friendships in books, and I in fact sometimes prefer friend relationships to romantic relationships. So we're going to talk friends today, and the first coupling that I love are Kaladin and Sylphrena from the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. Kaladin is a human and he suffers with depression, and he's gone through a lot of really hard stuff in his life, and Sylphrena is the kind of friend that brings a bit of joy to his life. She's a really fun and funny character who tries to make Kaladin smile or laugh whenever she can using her witty banter, and she's also really caring of him. So when he's having a hard time and she realises that comedy isn't going to help him out in that situation, she's there to comfort him and to help him to understand what is going on and how he can deal with it, and she helps him to decide on moral issues as well. So she is a really good friend. I don't want to get into how he's a good friend to her because that could potentially be spoilers, but theirs is a friendship that I very much enjoy. I also really like the friendship between Sanchia and Clef in Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. Sanchia is a young thief who is very brave and willing to put herself in some rather difficult situations, and Clef's kind of along for the ride with that. He's totally okay with it, he's quite cheeky and he bounces off her, but he also is almost like a mentor figure to her as well and is able to help her out with her schemes, and I really enjoy how their relationship builds just in the first book. They meet in the first book and very quickly become very good friends, and I really enjoyed watching their relationship develop. Coming back to Kaladin from the Stormlight Archive, let's talk about Bridge 4, shall we? Bridge 4 is a group of slaves, and they're pretty down on their luck. Life is pretty rubbish for them, and Kaladin brings them together and makes them feel a camaraderie, whereas before they were all just a group of slaves dealing with their stuff on their own. He turns them into a family, and they are always there for each other. They build each other up, they care about each other, and they do honestly treat each other like family, and I really admire how they stick up for each other even when they're in awful situations. Could this be a video about favourite friendships without mentioning the dynamic trio Harry, Ron and Hermione from Harry Potter? I think this friendship group goes without saying, especially on the part of Ron and Hermione. You know, Harry has a lot going on and he doesn't have a whole lot of choice about what's going on in his life, but Ron and Hermione, they choose to stick with Harry through it all, and they're so loyal to him and to each other, and they support each other, and they fall out, you know, they have arguments, that's realistic. The amount of times in particular that Harry and Ron or Ron and Hermione fell out in that series, I mean, come on. But it's realistic, and they make up at the end, and they're there with each other, and we're not going to talk about the majority of the cursed child because no one wants to go there. But the one thing I do like about that is that they are all still friends, and they're all still in each other's lives and standing by each other, and they're a good friendship group, you know? So far we've been talking about main characters in books, but There is a friendship between two side characters in the Chronicles of Ixia by Maria V. Schneider that I absolutely love, and that's Ari and Junko. Ari is the sensible, methodical thinker who's in control and totally dependable, and Junko is a little bit of a joker and he likes to mess about and poke fun at Ari and pretend that he's all that when really probably out of the two of them, Ari is the superior fighter, planner, strategist, etc. But they balance each other so well and they're so loyal to each other, and even when they can't be together because they're on missions in different places, they have each other's back, and they're also fiercely loyal not just to each other but to the other people that they consider part of their family. And if there's a duo of side characters that I love more than any other, it's these two boys. They're great. Now we move on to the Black Dagger Brotherhood. Oh, the brothers. I've mentioned the Black Dagger Brotherhood in a recent video. I'll link it up there for you, but the short story is I love the brothers. They are in the series of books called The Black Dagger Brotherhood by J.R. Ward, and their relationship with each other is beautiful. They are a group of vampires that are part of a brotherhood whose job it is to protect the rest of vampire society from their enemy, the Lessers. And the brothers are always there for each other. They are like brothers, except that they're not related in any way. They stand up for each other, they don't judge each other, they support each other through some pretty difficult times, and they know when to step back too. They know when to give each other space and be like, you know, I'm here when you need me, but you do you for a minute. That's cool. That's cool. NBD, no big deal. You know? And I have a soft spot for those brothers, and if I could join any crew, I think I'd join theirs, even over Bridge 4. Bridge 4 is a very close second, but I think in terms of bromance crews, the Black Dagger Brotherhood has it. Next up, we have a group of friends from a manga series. So we're talking about the group of friends from Orange. They're all teenagers, they're all in high school, and one of them is getting letters from her future self telling her how to help one of their specific friends who is struggling a little bit. And they're all just so supportive of each other all the time and understanding of the mental health issues that are going on. And these characters are quite young. Up to this point I've been talking about characters in adult books who are mature and you would expect to be able to emote with people on that level. Not that teenagers can't, but these particular teenagers go through some stuff that you would really hope that people of their age would not have to deal with. But they have to deal with it, and they deal with it beautifully, and they support each other through everything. They're non-judgmental, they're there for each other, and even though when they grow up they may not be in the same places anymore, they're not going to be in secondary school forever, but they are going to be in each other's lives forever, and their commitment to each other is beautiful. We're going to go a bit more old school now and talk Sherlock and Watson. I have read some of the Sherlock Holmes books, but not all of them. But the bromance between Sherlock and Watson is just legendary, isn't it? I particularly love the way that it's portrayed in the BBC version of Sherlock. Sherlock is a fundamentally selfish character, but he develops this bond with Watson that allows him to care for somebody in a way that he probably never has before and possibly never will again, whereas Watson is an intrinsically caring person, but he is more than happy to call Sherlock on his bullshit, and that's exactly what Sherlock needs, and I think that that's exactly why their relationship works just so well because they just complement each other. Sherlock is aggravating and Watson is patient, and they mesh together to form the perfect team. And I especially love the way that Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman depict that relationship. Talking about another group now, the Paper and Heart Society, from The Paper and Heart Society by Lucy Powery. In the Paper and Heart Society, it's an existing group that accepts a new member, Tabby. And Tabby is somebody who has struggled with friendships in the past, as you discover through the story, but her new friends teach her how to feel secure in a relationship. And again, they have their fallings out, they have their difficulties, but they're there for each other when it matters. And this is a group of people who choose to be friends, and they're not necessarily in the same, during the course of the book, it's actually the summer holidays, so they don't have to be around each other. It's not like they're in the same class at school where they have to hang out every day. No, they are choosing to set up this book club so that they can spend time together and go out on road trips and have Hunger Games reenactments minus the death. And it's really sweet, and that book and those friendships really give me the warm and fuzzies, which is really nice. Finally, we're going to talk about Francis and Aled from Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, and theirs is a tumultuous relationship. They both have personal issues that they're dealing with, and times get a little bit hard for them. It's a really hard-hitting book. It made me cry, which just never happens. But their relationship is just so beautiful, not because it's perfect sunshine and rainbows all the time, but because they work through so much hard stuff, both independently and together, and in other relationships outside of their relationship with each other. But they recognise how important their relationship and their friendship is, and they have to work on it. It's not an easy thing. It's not just a given. It takes energy to maintain a friendship with somebody, especially when that person is going through a whole load of stuff and baggage just by themselves, let alone taking another person and their difficulties into account. So I feel like the relationship between Francis and Aled is a really important and realistic one. So those were 10 of my favourite friendships in books. Let me know if you're a fan of any of these friendships, or if there are any others that you really love that I haven't mentioned. Please let me know, because like I said, I really enjoy books with fantastic friendships in them. But that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks! Bye!